that answer. Welcome back to Designing Dreams. Today's guest has literally turned dreams into walls, floors, and breathtaking spaces. And not just in India, but across the world. From cozy homes in small towns to luxury apartments in international cities. She's done it all and made it look effortless. So let me welcome architect Spurti Kapoor. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Pallavi. It is very surprising, and I'm so happy that you have come to my office and sharing my office space with you for your podcast. Thank you very much.
Let's start with a fun one. If I gave you just one tile to describe your personality as an architect, would it be bold Italian marble slab, a subtle earthy ceramic, or a playful pattern mosaic?
It's a very difficult question. If I describe myself, I would love to describe me as a colorful mosaic. But it depends, sometimes I'm Italian marble also.
So it's like being colorful and happy go lucky, and at the same time, Spurti, you always carry elegance around yourself. So, the next one, our listeners are going to be very curious about it. If I would have asked you to design my life instead of my living room, where would you even start?
Well, I from my childhood I always wanted to be a scientist. So I read a lot, and definitely, if not this, I could have been the researcher in any field. Now also I'm doing research in my own field also. So that is more fascinating. I can say that.
So let's now do some research on Spurti. So where did this love for design begin? Was it sketching in a school notebook, or the first time you walked into a building and thought, wow, I want to design something like this?
Well, as anybody, I always fascinated towards the beautiful things, and I started analyzing when I was kid, why that particular thing looks nice. Like an example, like in a marble, why marble looks nice. This curiosity of mine started when I was young, and I used to look at the building. Few of the building, I can say the Deccan Herald press. It was quite old. During my school days, I used to think why it is looking nice, though the building is just a press. The newspaper get printed there. Why it is looking so beautiful? So I used to analyze that. Maybe the facade, maybe the stone usage, maybe the composition. So that was the one thing. And another thing is I born on 15th September, and 15th September is happens to be Sir M. Vishweshwaraya's birthday. So accidentally in I think first standard or second standard, my mother told me that you become a engineer who construct houses. That was my first memory. Though I never thought that I never aimed for becoming an architect, but towards beautiful things, towards sketching, always I had big fascination. Maybe that was the thing which helped me a lot during my architecture course, and now also.
To tell us about your first real project. It would have been your dream baby. But usually on the first dream baby, at times we also create a story which is filled of a lot of chaos. So how was it? Was it a mix of both dream and chaos? How was it?
Well, that was mix of all. My first project, it was definitely a dream. As any beginner, it was a lots of learning, lots of new things, how to manage people, how to manage funds, those all things. but not chaos. Fortunately, I'm so blessed that it has come out very nice, and it was the beginning, because I came from the background where no one is from this industry. Actually, all are from different industry. I'm the first one. I'm in this generation that become an architect. So my office was small. It is kind of a one-man army, and the experience was very rich. I learned a lot, and definitely because of its creativeness, because of on-time delivery, I could able to achieve, and from there, definitely no looking back.
So now let's talk, Spurti, about your pan-India experience. You've had your experience with designing for Ambani's, then the raw Rajasthan Royal aesthetics, and even sleek city apartments in metro. How do you adapt your designs to match such different culture, climates, and lifestyle?
For any architect, that is not a difficult one. Now, it is very, because as a curriculum we study the culture, then the psychology of people, then the architecture of so many regions, not only Indian architecture, even the history of architecture worldwide we study. So that definitely helps us to understand the vernacular nature of any region, and and any good architect or any good artist, if you look at any good producer or the director of the movie, they can adapt anything, they can switch over from this to this. If you understand your client, what they want, definitely if you are a good architect, you can put those things into a design, a beautiful creation. And that is what I'm, from my starting to till now, I'm thriving, and making that, put that whatever the client wants, their cultural background, their personality, to reflect in their designs. That is my effort, and this effort makes us easy to come up with the beautiful designs.
Spurti, let's talk about your international work. You've been telling me that you want to expand, and I was so glad to hear that you got a project in Sydney. What was the wow thing that happened at that moment emotionally? Was there a moment when you felt like, wow, I can't believe I'm here designing in Sydney, a different continent too?
Any architect will be filled with a joy whenever he gets a project where the clients give a free hand to design. And I'm so fortunate that I was in Australia a few months back, and through friend I get introduced to some people there, and fortunately they were from Karnataka. And it was happened that that person wanted to come up with a house which has Indian vibes, and I was just in the forum, I was pitching my projects there, and he saw that, he came to me. It was completely like kind of a surprise. Then he told that he is willing to give that project to me. It is that sometimes when you convey your thoughts in the projects, and that project reflects your process, your thought process, your value, what you give to others, if that is addressed, and the clients will definitely, not only from India, any part of the world, if they understand, if she is giving the value for anything what she is giving, or what any architect is giving, definitely it is a cakewalk. And it happened, and I was filled with a joy, and I'm looking forward to come up with really beautifully, and we have done, the designing phase is done. Let's see.
Every architect has a signature style. For some, it's minimalism, for some, it's grandeur. How would you describe yours?
Well, as a person, I'm very much believer of minimalism, and I strongly believe in sustainability. But while designing, my aim and my focus towards the client aspiration, and I always test myself whether I'm capable of coming up with standing out what he is asking. So if he wants anything in grand, I can able to design that. That is my whole effort. And As an architect, I am a great fan of one of the greatest architect, Philip Johnson. If you look at his history, he has designed the minimalistic building, also postmodernism and deconstruction. What we call in architecture, it's a movement where completely if you look at any building or the interior, completely it's done in a deconstructive way. So I strongly believe that architect should deliver any kind of design. A good architect can deliver any kind of a design. So I quote this with a example, like any good actor can play any role, like can be in art film or a commercial film or something in a different way also. So I strongly believe that one should architect should be like that. He can able to give what client wants, and in a fun way it is like it is you will come up with you can do experiment with so many things. So I'm a believer in that. Variety is what I look for in design, and that is my aim also, like I can design different styles.
All right, let's lighten it up. Funniest or strangest client request you have ever had?
Okay, there are many. One I can recollect is one of my client asked, whenever I bathe, the water should run towards the east side, irrespective of wherever I'm standing in the bathroom. That was the strange request, and in a very funny way, I told him go to the east side and bathe. Funny note, but yes, people do ask, and it is their very own first residence, and whatever it is, though it is funny, but we can able to do that, and he also laughed that moment.
Do you secretly judge people's hope when you visit them as a guest?
Yes, it is so the human tendency that whenever you go and you look at the building, you start judging who has done or what is the intention of doing behind this, doing this way. Even in fact, like if you look at any person, the way they dress, the way they talk, you will judge. It's quite human tendency. It's not I'm an architect, that is why I'm doing it. Yes, but my husband always says I'm very unromantic. Whenever I started watching movie, I always see the surrounding, the interior, the curtains, and I used to whenever we sit together, I keeps on telling them this is that, this is this, and he always complains about like you are so unromantic. You are watching a romantic movie and you are seeing other things. Yes, it is by habitually you do that.
So let me ask the unromantic person out here, one design trend you wish would disappear forever?
Not really a design trend, I can say, but I really wish that people should stop saying the architect. If you hire a good architect, stop saying to the architect and with the Instagram images, do this way. Pinterest images, do this way. It is just like you are going to a doctor and you are telling or you are commanding doctor that prescribe this medicine only because I have this problem. So that I really want people to understand that the first and foremost is hire a good architect so that he or she will come up with a good design. Then whatever your aspirations are there, show it to them, but not exactly completely telling them what to do and how to do. That trend needs to be stopped. It is for the betterment for everybody. This is my thinking.
So now the tile war, big slabs or small pattern ones, which side are you on?
Well, it is again a very difficult question. I put it in this way that both have their beauty and both have their purpose also. Like the big slab, yes, that is one big revolution what the tile industry have come up, and the small tiles are the mosaic tiles, which is like the retro style, which is keeps on coming, and definitely after some years again it will go and again it will come, like how the fashion is. So both ways, and both I do like, and most of the architect they like, and those give variety when we do design. Definitely, I very diplomatic answer, both.
Again, coming to a very hilarious and a funny question. If tiles could talk, do you think they did complain about people walking all over them? Or would they secretly love being the center of attention at home?
Oh my god, it is so funny question. Well, maybe they are overhearing or knowing every secrets of the inhabitants, what they are talking, what they are bitching, what they are, thinking about others. Maybe that.
So we imagine architects working at midnight with coffee, mood boards, and music. How true is that picture for you?
Definitely yes. Music is the answer for so many things. It gives you that the easiness of any solution, or any, if you are in a bad mood, or if you want to create something, the good music always helps. And coffee, yeah, I'm more like a chai person. I always think that one should have a me space, or the close environment, the dedicated, focused environment, so that you can come up with beautiful designs. For me, it is always early mornings, because I'm a morning person. So not only now, even my student days also, I used to wake up early to design things or come up with any creation. So yes.
What's one thing totally unrelated to architecture that keeps you sane?
Well, architects can only design the facade. Elevation करके देंगे. Uh, that makes me so much angry that no, architects are not the person who design only the elevation, or they do only interior. They are the space designers. So uh, that mindset has to shift. Uh,
Now I have to bring this funny one for Vivek. So we jokingly call Vivek the tile whisperer because of his uncanny instinct for choosing the perfect tile. As an architect, do you find yourself instantly agreeing with his choices, or do you two have those fun debates about what really works in a space?
well, I can say that he is good in what he is doing. The collection, overall collection is good. But when it comes to our own project, definitely yes, we do debate. We do, force the supplier to get those materials only, get those designer tiles only. Yes, we do that. But if you look at the entire collection, he's a good, he's bringing the new things to the this part of state. Yeah.
So let's give our listeners some take home value. If someone's building their dream home, what's the one thing they should splurge on, and one thing where they can save money on?
Well, I can say that wherever which is necessary, like the structure should be as per the soil condition, the weather, and the zone which is where it is standing. So there, never ever take the risk or the do the experiment. But in the finishing part, there are so many things you can work on. Like example is tile. If you want a wood finish, and you don't want to spend lavishly on that, there are so many beautiful options, and you can get that effect that is there. So what I can say, we are living in an era where you have a choice for everything, like be the tiles for the walls, or the kitchen, or the front elevation. Not only the tiles, even if you look at any building material, there are so many choices. So I can say only this: hire a good architect to design your building.
So, as right now you said, hire a good architect to make sure that you do not break the bank. So, what is one thing, a tip which you give to your homeowner before choosing any material? Could it be tiles? Could it be their furniture designing, what is that one advice you give them to keep a check on their splurging?
Well, there are three aspects whenever you are doing a space design. Like, one is the floor, another one is the wall, and the third one is the roof. So after the superstructure, there are three parts where you are spending on these three, and as I told earlier, you have n number of options to come up with a beautiful design, and whichever you want. You want luxurious, you want ease, or you want comfort, you can do that. And but I always tell my client to come up with a budget, sit with your architect, come up with a budget, how much you want to spend on each specifications, like the example, the tiles or the wall finishing or the roof finishing. Come up with a budget, stick to that budget so that you can finish entire project within a time. Not only that, even within the budget also. So prior checking, approving all the materials is the one key thing for the successful project.
Now, as a women entrepreneur in a world that's still seen as a challenging and male dominating industry, what has your journey been like, and what have been the things that you have broken it as a stereotype? And one more question, again, I would like to add on to this is, what advice would you like to give to all the lady architects who want to become a successful archi entrepreneur?
Well, I don't frame myself as a feminist. I'm a humanist, but I can say that still people think that many women cannot do this. Like, one of my own inner circle person didn't give me a project because the project was somewhere else. Like, it was a bit far away from this place. So still many people think that the architects cannot travel, they cannot handle too many projects, they cannot because all the construction workers are majority are male dominating, and they think that they cannot get the work from these resources. But that is very much wrong, and not only in architecture, in all the field, women are breaking the rules, and women are doing fantastically very well. And what I can say to the upcoming female architects, that chase your dream and look at the architecture as a business. Yes, you want that your dream project or your dream design to get it happen, but look at as a business. Study accountancy, study how to administrate the one successful business. Do all the things, then that time no one will be stopping you. Can sky's the limit that time.
So now we move on to the rapid fire round, where we're going to be fun and we're going to be fast. So the first answer, I already know that you are a chai person while designing. So I take up the second one. It's
Okay.
like traditional Indian courtyard or ultra modern loft.
Definitely traditional Indian courtyard house.
Beach house or mountain retreat.
It's very difficult, both. I can say nowadays I have a love towards beaches, beach house.
A building you did love to redesign if given the chance.
Redesigning, no. I think I've done the justice.
The one city in the world you did move to tomorrow if work allowed.
There are many places very difficult. So you have put so many difficult questions. In India, I would love to go to Mysore. In abroad, I love to go to Italy.
If you weren't an architect, what you would be?
I said I think I might be a researcher or the scientist.
Go-to outfit for a site visit, chic or super practical?
Oh, I love fashion, so both.
Glossy or matte tiles?
The matte looking wooden tiles, yes.
Square or hexagon pattern?
Square.
And the big one, who has a sharper eye for tiles? You or Vivek, the one who calls himself as a tile whisperer and the tile scientist?
Again, very difficult. I will say I am good, but in his own way, he is good as a businessman, and I'm good as a architect.
After so many projects in various towns, cities, and now internationally too, what is one thing from your heart that you would like to create so that generations coming forward would always love to have a look at it, and at the same time, architect students would love to learn something out of it?
I would definitely and love to say that uh, whenever I do something for the next generation, it should be sustainably viable. Because what I feel the next generation is lacking the wisdom of life. So, the wisdom of life, I want to come up with the material usability, kind of a space. Yes, that is what I'm dreaming about.
Pooty, you are a woman, a wife, a mother, a daughter in law, and an architect as a profession. So, what does home mean to you when you connect it with all the dots? Designing, emotions, family, all together. What is a home for you?
Well, as an architect, we design house, and whoever the inhabitants, they make that house as a home. But for me, a home is one place where you go and you'll forget everything outside world. Even whenever I'm designing, I always thinking in that direction that the person who is living in that house should feel that he should forget outside world. The space should make him or her to realize that. And home is where the you forget everything. When you go home, you will relax and you will shut down everything. Even the spaces when we design, it should reflect that. That is what I am thinking, that and believe that home should be that way.
Thank you so much, Spooty, for giving in your time. And I really had a good time listening to your journey, which is about having a confidence in yourself with your design, putting in emotions with what you develop. I think as an architect, that's the most important thing, because commercial projects, you can think about balance sheet and then create a design. But with residence, when you put in your heart into it, definitely it blossoms for not one generation but generations
Yes.
to come. And we had a fun time talking about your journey, your likes, and too many things which you also come across to answer. So thank you so much for giving your time, and I had an amazing evening into this chat.
Well, thank you, Pallavi. It is always, I always say that it is great having a conversation with you, and the knowledge and the wisdom you bring that, and it is the questions what you have sorted, and that made me to think so many things. So thank you for having me in your podcast.
Thank you so much, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining for Home Stories. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned in for lots of such informative coming up series. Bye bye.